This season marks a new beginning. New heights will be reached. New records will be broken. A new champion will be crowned. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American open wheel series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
The real-world Verizon IndyCar Series won't be going to the rolling hills of upstate New York in 2018, but here in iRacing's virtual universe, the Lionheart IndyCar Series has. Presented by First Medical Equipment, it's the SimPit Grand Prix at the Glen, round 4 of 24 on the Season 6 schedule. See it all live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. From the southern tip of the Empire State's Lake Seneca, welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Countdown to Green, presented by the SimPit. GSRC will show you all the on-track action live as it happens, but first, as cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streaming award-worthy minutes, we'll bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate all the simulated Dallara IR18 action that will immediately follow as we count down to green for the SimPit Grand Prix at the Glen. And here to do all of that is Soup and Crackers. Yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Helping us seamlessly segue our way through a minefield of sponsored plugs is the Doctor of Pits Topology, our director, Amjad Yaman, armed with cameras provided by the Ansel Adams of iRacing, GSRC's own Dougie Beard. Now, Jake Wright, the defending race winner at Watkins Glen, stepped away from the series this season. Wright not only dominated this place, but he was dominant on nearly every road race last season, with the only blemish on his record being a Dandy Dan Guerin victory at Phillip Island. So with Wright out of the picture, the focus centers on the other drivers who are strong on the twisty courses. Watch for names like Dan Guerin, as well as Adam Blocker, Andrew Kinsella, Michael Goodman, Brian Yazek, and of course the racing kangaroo Michael Gray. But when it comes to names, just like Jeff Lebowski is simply called the Dude, this place is simply called the Glen. Sean?
It's a beautiful day at the Glen, but before I talk about the track, let me remind you that everything during the countdown to green comes courtesy of its sponsor, the SimPit, an entertainment channel dedicated to sim racing. Its focus is to bring you news, reviews, and information from around the world about sim racing hardware and software. It also focuses on what it takes to be a better sim racer, with instructional video and how-tos that will help your performance on the virtual track. Check it out at thesimpit.com. Soup, speaking of virtual tracks, let's talk about today's venue. Located right here in Watkins Glen, New York. Initially, public roads in the village were used for this race course, and then in 1956, they opened up this permanent circuit. Except for a few changes early on, this layout really hasn't changed since 1971. Now, a proclamation from GSRC kind of somewhat forbids us from mentioning music concerts during the track info segment, but you know what? There was an important event here in '73, the Summer Jam, where 600.
You're gonna get in trouble.
Came to see the Allman Brothers, the Grateful Dead, and the band. Great, and I love the band, by the way, one of my favorites. But today, listen, it's about the racing, where the drivers will need to negotiate all 11 of these corners today. 3.36 miles of asphalt and concrete, but the best way to get an idea what it's like to go around this place is to jump on board the GSRC IndyCar and take a lap around the Glen.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC DW12, so let's do a lap around Watkins Glen. Coming down to turn 1, this is a great place to pass. Just be careful not to overshoot it with the downhill braking. Also, despite the paved runoff, drivers will want to avoid going wide on exit because the bumps could bog the car down. And you're going to need all the acceleration you can as you climb uphill through the S's and onto the backstretch. A good draft could keep you in play if you're tight behind someone. Just watch out for the aero wash. Most of the day's battles are likely to see side-by-side action here. Once you hit the bus stop, though, it's back to single file. Make sure and keep it off the curbs to keep the car nice and planted. Now we head into the carousel, which will require patience. Getting on the power too early could send you plowing into the grass or worse, the outside wall. From there, we plunge down into the chute. Be wary not to let the car get out from under you because there's absolutely no runoff on the outside of this turn. Continuing downhill, we switch left to set up for the toe of the boot. There's a fair bit of banking here, but try not to get greedy on the exit as the car is likely to understeer off. Now we begin to climb back uphill, and you've got another potential passing spot into the heel of the boot. Be wary of the curbs on the inside, which can unsettle the car, and be gentle on the power on the exit. You can see even Amjad nearly spins it. Now it's into 9, where the off-camber nature makes it especially tough to nail the line. Then it's a short blast into Indianapolis. It's a very fast corner in the IndyCar with only a slight lift to get you through. After that, quickly switch back for the final turn, use the banking but stay off the tire barrier, and you've managed to complete a lap around Watkins Glen International.
And the drivers hope to do well in the SimPit Grand Prix at the Glen so they can improve in the point standings. Let's go ahead and take a look at those now with 3 races in the book. These are the first Medical Equipment Driver Championship. Brian Yosek has a win for Loud Pedal Motorsports. Have a Catch Kinsella has a pair of wins. When drop races start to be accounted for, watch for the Adrenaline Motorsports driver to be even closer to the lead. Including No Name Racing's Jason Galvin, none of the top 3 drivers have failed to finish inside the top 10. All top 10s all the time for all the guys up in the top 3 positions. Another no-namer, Big Joe Hassert, was a big mover, up 11 spots. Hey, Sean, you know what's up? What do you know about Joe Hassert?
Big Joe Hassert, it's his 100th start tonight in the
Wow.
Lionheart IndyCar Series, the only one to have achieved that mark so far.
First to get there. And then, how about Joe Flanagan? He claims 9 spots up into 14th. And this is, he's a privateer this season. Let's go to the team championships now. These are the HPP Simulation Team Championship. Adrenaline currently sits P1 in the team standings over No Name Racing and Loud Pedal Motorsports. Hey, but the team to watch out for, Synergy Motorsports, they won the day at Kentucky thanks to the efforts of Dustin Wardlow, who came in 5th, Brandon Limpkeman came in 6th, and Ron Hacker was in the snowman position. And it should be noted that Gap SRT finished 4th for the day, despite Stefan Larkamp being the only driver scoring points there. You know, somebody needs to give Gap SRT Canigan Flanagan's email address. Maybe get them hooked up together. Sean, who is number 1, the new kid on the block, as we take the step-by-step? What do you got down there?
All right, the butt kicker, Rookie of the Year, Sue Bart Workman, is 9th in the first Medical Equipment Drivers Championship for Skidmark Racing. Loud Pedals Dave Cordy's best finish was 7th at Phoenix. Another Skidmark driver, Scott Johnson, has not been able to match his 13th place finish he earned in the season opener. And Justin, Bob, and Weaver was the biggest mover, up 4 spots. But Workman is the man right now, Sue.
Boy, he is crushing that championship. Now, consider the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service. The Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. And Dan would sure appreciate this next segment, as it is time once again for Professor Lugnut's Setup Corner. Professor, last time we talked about Dandy Bernoulli. What's on tap today?
You know, we're going to talk differences, lots of differences between the new IR18 and the older DW12. One of the more noticeable is the removal of the airbox cover that used to sit just above the driver's head. Well, why is this important? Well, let's talk about that. The power plant on these machines requires air, and lots of it, to help complete the cycle of an internal combustion engine. So how do we feed the beast now? Well, it's the side pods and the intake holes that lie within those side pods. 2 purposes served here. Air for the radiators, air for the engine intake. So, well, what does all that mean? We'll keep the engine cool, everything works. Let it get hot, it blows up on you. Now, those inlet openings are big, and in iRacing, you can actually adjust those inlet holes, just like in the real world, to your advantage. Now, make a mistake one way or the other, though, and it can be detrimental to the performance of the car. Too big, you create too much drag on the car. Too little, and you cook the motor. Got to keep that enough space there to still keep those radiators cool. It needs to breathe and stay cool. One thing remains the same, though, is each inlet setting still allows the same amount of flow to the engine's air tank. But you get the air intake. Now, you get that balance right, Soup, and you've got a car that's going to handle really, really well around this circuit today.
Well, that's one thing that at least the drivers won't have to worry about. Is we're going to talk now about the series details, and we'll explain why they don't get to really play around with that.
Yeah, and these series details come to us thanks to the Sim Pit, Season 6, of course. Round 4 of 24. Soup, they'll get 3 drops this season. We are running the Dallara IR18 new for this season. And the setup, it is a fixed setup. And when we talk about adjusted, it means they tailor these setups per track to the majority of the drivers who participate in helping fix those, get those set. Now, cash and prizes this season. It seems to go up every week, Soup. It's now at $6,402 are at stake this season in cash and prizes. And, buddy, that's going to be quite a haul for these drivers that can get themselves up into the championship.
Absolutely, and prizes spread around through all sorts of different categories. And, of course, Sean talked about that air intake, how they can set the size of that. Since these are fixed setups, the drivers really don't have a choice in what they're running. The series officials figure out what's going to work best, and that's how they're doing it. Qualifying's going underway right now. There's about 3 minutes left in qualifying. No surprise, we talk about some of the drivers to watch out for. Adam Blocker sitting at the top. But, Sean, here's an old-timer coming back that we keep thinking he's going to make him a name for himself. Michel De Jong sitting there in second.
Yeah, Michel De Jong is sitting up there on the board. And he just goes P1. That's a 124.41. Just 2 hundredths of a second faster than Blocker. And Soup, it's funny you bring him up. Michel De Jong has been in and out of the Lionheart IndyCar Series over the years, and has come back this season and run a few races. And we expect to see him run well here on the road, on the course here at Watkins Glen today. But you talk about old timers up here near the front. Brian Yazik with a pretty solid qualifying effort so far. Soup, he's in 5th right now with a 124.8.
Looking at Ed King Tutwiler with the Sim Pit onboard camera. Ed currently in 37th position. Big field here today, Sean. You talked about it, but it just goes to show you the health of this series. What do we got about? Boy, I 42. Think it's 42.
Yeah, we've got 42 registered for this one. It should be fun. We talked about.
I honestly think that's almost everybody.
Yeah, it is actually. George Anzaldo is also going to be coming up on his 100th start this season. Him and Joe and George were founders here in the league way back when this thing got started a little over 5.5 years ago, Soup. So both have been around quite a while. But Joe, with that 100th career start tonight, I got to tell you, that's impressive. For him to get to that mark before anybody else just says what it's meant to him to be here. And I'm happy to see him get that milestone this evening. Maybe he can notch a win with that milestone. We'll see.
George Anzaldo going to try to be the Buzz Aldrin of the Lionheart series. Second man on the moon.
I knew where you were going with that.
Well, that was almost, my goodness, what would that be, 50 years ago? So
it was some time ago. Yeah, Soup.
Want an interesting stat? It's almost the same amount of time from when we landed on the moon that it took from Orville and Wilbur Wright to land on the moon. It was about 50 years to fly and get to the moon, and now it's been about 50 years since we've been there. So there you have it. Qualifying just about done. And, with qualifying done, it's just about time to go racing. And when it is time to go racing, nothing beats the feel, as I tried to do this by memory, as I continue to lose my place in the script. Nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations, designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment. HPP hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulation.com. Okay, Sean, qualifying is done. Let's go ahead and run through the orders. We have a pace lap here. A little bit of time to get through it. On the front row, it's Michelle DeJong and Adam Blocker.
And Soup, that qualifying is a new qualifying lap record here. Wow. That 124.411. Row 2, Dan Garrett and Andrew Kinsella.
The Candyman Dustin Wardlow sits in 5th inside of Brian Yazek.
Row 4, Michael Goodman and Stephen Larkamp.
Woody Mahan and James Grahula go 9th and 10th.
All right, row 6, Isaiah Dupree. Quick qualifying effort for the guy from Carolina. And the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray, is going to start 12th.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's Joe Canigan Flanagan. He's going to be flanked by Justin, Bob, and Weaver.
And making his debut tonight here at the Glen, Tyler Graff, starting on row 8 with Ron Hacker.
The Von Hansen's Meat Machine, Bob Micas in 17th inside of Pierre Nightingale.
Row 10 going to be Brian. It isn't easy being Greenlee. And Ian Adams starts 20th.
In Blackjack, it's Chris Stouffer. Catching 22, Samuel Ryman.
All right, Soup. Jason Robar is going to start in row 12 tonight there, 23rd. And Brian Beard on the outside, 24th.
In the quarter century mark, it's Joe Branch. He's going to be flanked by Brandon Linkeman.
Row 14, Scott Johnson and Bart Workman.
We talked about him early on. He's not at the 100 race mark yet, but he's getting there. George Anzaldo in 29th. Jason Galvin well back in the field in 30th.
All right, Soup. And here we go. Row 16, Big Joe, the Big Joe Show. We'll start 31st, 32nd, Dylan McKenna.
He's second in the rookie standings, David Cordy in 33rd, Robert Bluen outside of him.
Row 18, Ken Hacker, Eddie Tutwiler.
Welcome back to a road course, Jack Bogan in 37th position, Peter Edwin in 38th.
Row 22, Vincent Blumenthal and Chris Lanini.
Both Blumenthal and Lanini not able to put in a qualifying time. That's the same for Matthew Mercer and Tony Schowen, as there's 42 drivers, 38 put in qualifying times. Those last 4 did not. The field is rolling away. Let's take a quick look at our onboard cameras.
Soup, let's do that. Let's look at Bob Micas first here in the Von Hansen's Meat Market Machine. Von Hansen's onboard camera. Let's go to Eddie Tutwiler. He is in the Sim Pit onboard camera this evening, adding that number 9. And now we'll go to Adam Blocker in the number 74. Soup, one of my favorite sponsors, Plasma Tracks. I've got to get some of that artwork, buddy.
Absolutely. Cannot go wrong with that. Field is tucked in behind such a large field here. Sean, we're racing long enough. We'll talk about how far we're going in just a minute, but we should see some lap traffic today.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see it. Listen, this car is decidedly faster than the DW12 was around here. We're going to see some records fall tonight. We've already seen the qualifying record fall. I imagine race lap record is going to fall. Soup, it's going to be a big night, man. I think we're gonna crown a new winner because the previous winners are Jake Wright, Matt Kingsbury, and Jesse Vincent. So I think tonight we will see a first-time winner at the Glen here in the Lionheart IndyCar Series.
They are working their way through. They have negotiated the boot. Sean, I have a bit of a technical issue. Go ahead and take it here, but I can call the start for you.
All right, buddy. And, well, like you said, they're making their way out of the boot now. And I was talking with some of the drivers earlier about what their favorite and least favorite turns on this track were. And the toe, not a bad spot for some guys, but we'll be getting to the least favorite turn, I think, by many drivers when we get out of the heel. And we go through what is turn 9, the turn without a name, at the uphill left-hander. And as the field comes now down to the heel, this is a tough one here.
Call the start, as I've had a bit of a crash here, but I'll be back soon.
Okay, no problem, Soup. We've got them covered here. The field ready to go.
Make sure you gather up those chickens, though. Don't forget to tell them that, or people won't know that we've started. Okay?
All right, no problem, Soup. I've got you covered, buddy. And here we go. Michel Dijon gets ready to unleash him here. Everybody now getting through turn 9 on the way to turn 10. The last left-hander. And here we go. The roof pace car gets ready to peel off here. Your entrance to pit lane will be here, but they get ready to uncork them. Take cover behind the barn because the chickens are out of the coop. I know, I always mess it up, Soup. We're out of the way, though, and here goes Michel Dijon down to the 1.
Big crash behind. We're going to bookmark. Watch it. Big crash in the back.
Big collection. Dijon gets off quick here. And Adam Blocker trying to make a move up the S's, already looking for a way to get around here. He's going to try to slingshot him as they get off the exit of the S's. He's right up alongside as they go down the back straight here. Down into the inner loop. And Dijon going to get away. Blocker comes back. Dijon's off. Blocker gets around the carousel. Here comes Kinsella. Brian Yazik. Yazik's going to get around. Dijon has got trouble. Already off pace. Dustin Wardlow goes by. Now Michael Goodman. Oh, Dijon is hurt. He's off pace.
Dijon did such a great job in qualifying, and he throws it all the way on the first lap. Go ahead.
And he's still fighting here, trying to just get things back together. Out of the toe, into the boot, down to the heel here. And Yazik making a bold move there. Yazik makes a bold move out of the heel. Turn 9. Everybody got to try and keep the cars in line and on track here.
That big incident up on the first lap took out a lot of cars, but now they're single file. Go ahead.
All right, Adam Blocker going to complete this first lap. Your leader, Dan Guerin, in second, about 8/10 behind. Here, let's go to the replay here, the opening lap. And Soup, this was just a mess at the back. They had trouble getting started.
And you can see some of the cars. You can see cars spinning back there. I'm not able to tell who they are, but my goodness, one car on its lid, another car cartwheeling.
Yeah, and it looks like Gonzalo might have gotten tipped that sent him around and just sent off a melee that pulled in Workman and several other drivers. Not everybody has actually come in and pit from that. Some drivers opted to stay out there. You see, that's George flying across the middle of the track. I'm going to try and go on board Cordy here. Okay, there we go. We're on board with Dave Cordy here. As it's up the front straightaway and down
Nowhere
into the 90.
Nowhere to go. Nowhere to go.
Nope. Probably couldn't see a whole lot right there either.
Now we're back live. Take a shot.
All right, Soup, and I will take it. I'll take it all the way up front. Adam Blocker still in the lead. Still got about 7/10 of a second on Dan Guerin. Kinsella finds himself riding in a second. And you know what? The front of the field starting to spread out just a little bit, but we do have an attack here. Wardlow tried to make a move on Yazik, going down to the 90, can't pull it off. Yazik up 2 spots in this field already. Behind them, James Grahula sits in 7th, trying to hold off Stephen Larkamp. Larkamp with a good solid start to this race, gets off clean. Now Michel Dijon has recovered, and he is currently chasing Woody Mahan. Oh, trouble for Eddie Tutwiler. Got the... He just loses it. Ed loses it out of the turn. The car just gets loose on him. Think maybe he got back to the power a little bit too quick. A lot of cars came through there. And he had to let them all by before he get back going. It's going to be a real costly for Ed. I think he cycled back into 34th for him right now.
Adam Blocker with an issue.
Oh, yeah, Soup. Boy, he spins it. He spins it coming out of the heel.
Right up in front, right in front of Dan Guerin. That's going to give Guerin the lead. Then Blocker has to wait. Now, he didn't get any contact, but he has to wait for the entire field to go by.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. He
Oh.
almost came out. Isaiah Dupree went really wide, almost got in front of him. You can see that beautiful blue car of Adam Blocker. My goodness, he falls back into, how far back, Sean?
He's in 15th right now. And he might even give that up. Ron Hacker right there, just about a second behind him. We'll go back live here. But Dan Guerin, Sue, is boy, he's off to the races now, buddy. He's 2.2 seconds to the good on Andrew Kinsella.
Well,
Battle
Guerin,
for 6th.
as we go back to that one, let's look at that 6th place battle. This is Larkamp. No, we're going back a little bit. It's Krahula being chased by DeJong. Now remember, DeJong's trying to make up the spot. You talked about Guerin being out in front. Well, he kind of inherited that lead. With Blocker having trouble and DeJong having trouble, that put Guerin in front. Now Guerin leads, but Krahula's trying to hold back DeJong, who's trying to make it up. He's going to get a run going into the toe, and he gets it.
Yeah, Krahula going to play it smart there and let him go. Maybe Krahula could follow him and kind of use him as a partner here to the first pit stop. But DeJong coming up through the field quick. Maybe he can let DeJong be a bit of a blocker for him and get that spot back from Stephen Larkamp back up there.
Okay, now that we are back and we can all catch our breath, let me run down the top 10 for you real quick. It is Dan Guerin, 2.5 seconds ahead of the man in second, Andrew Have-A-Catch Kinsella. He's got about a second gap onto Brian Yazek. There's your podiums right now, but we're a long way from being done. In fourth, it's the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. Behind him, Michael Goodman. And then in sixth position, it's the rookie, Stefan Larkamp, having a great run. But it won't be long until Larkamp has to deal with the pole sitter, Michel DeJong, because he is coming. Behind him, we know that Krahula just got past. A nice battle going on for ninth. That is Woody Mahan being chased by the Racing Kangaroo, Michael Gray. A lot of these names we mentioned in the pre-race show. Let's look at this battle for ninth. Here comes Gray. Mahan in kind of the, what would that be, blue and yellow, I guess, machine? Blue and orange, there we go.
Orange soup. We'll call it orange. Well, Soup, what a crazy start. You crashed, and so did the back part of the field.
Yeah, well the back part of the field crashed. I think my computer did it well. It was kind of a sympathy crash on the part of my computer. It felt so bad for those drivers that decided to join them. But I am back now running full speed, and so is Dan Guerin, who's just picking him up and putting him down. So we're right on board with Adam Blocker. Blocker, who started in second position. Well, actually, where did Blocker start? He was started, yeah, that was correct, outside of first row.
Yeah, he started second, yeah.
Racing back there in the Plasma Tracks onboard camera car. Again, Blocker's in the same position that DeJong is. He's going to try to make up those spots. He's coming up right behind. He wants to make quick work of Justin, Bob, and Weaver here. This is a battle for 13th. Look for him to get that one. Good racing going on. It all starts back. Oh, here is Bart Workman being lapped. Workman letting everyone go around him. Remember, Workman was doing really great in the Rookie of the Year championship.
Yeah, he was involved in that early, unfortunately, Soup. Just coming out of his pit stop just now, he was in there for about 47 seconds, so he's already had to take one stop. No fast repairs here, Soup. He had to take whatever repair he could get. Boy, off pace right now. Isaiah Dupree losing a spot to Tyler Graff. Oh, crash up front. Yazek into. Oh,
Gets them all.
Oh, Kinsella starts to spin. Oh, in the chute.
Dustin Wardlow involved and Brian Yazek.
Oh, and then there's more cars behind it.
Kinsella spins first, and then the blue car, the HPP car of Brian Yazek, has nowhere to go. And then a little bit target fixation from Dustin Wardlow. Actually, there's no way he's going to turn it in. Both those cars had only one place to go. That's out on the grass, but let's leave it here because Sean says he sees more.
Oh, it's Soup. It's going to get worse here.
Oh, yeah, look at this.
Guys trying to slow up here. You're coming down a hill, and it's not quite blind, but they were starting into the turn. So it was hard for everybody to see what was going on there. Several cars caught up in that.
That was Michael Gray, the Racing Kangaroo, was the guy who got in there. Right behind him, then Tyler Graff got in it.
Yep.
Justin Weaver.
Graff, who had just taken over a spot there and was racing hard.
Boy, Justin Weaver, if we're able to get a replay, we can go on board with Justin Weaver. He manages to, I thought he got into it. He came so close. He managed to get away from it. Okay, we'll see if we can find that one. My goodness, Sean, this has been an ugly one so far. Let's see what our director has. Here we go. Everything looking good there. We've gone back a little bit. So he was having a great run. So they go through the boot. Now we go on board. Now it's going to be a long time between the accident and when he actually gets there. This shows you how blocked the track was.
In the carousel now. Coming off of it here, down, and like I said, it's not really blind, but with all those cars in there, and they were already in the turn, it just, oh, jeez.
Well, he cranks it to the left, and he avoids them all. So more attrition from the front runners. Look at the guys who have had trouble. The guy on the pole, the guy in second. Then those big names that got in that one.
Dude, you know who's gotten a clear advantage with all this carnage? Michel De Jong. He's back to third.
Yeah.
De Jong is back to third. He's back to a podium spot. Dan Guerin almost 10 seconds up the track in front of him, but De Jong is got pace, and it's about the same pace Dan Guerin's got, so this should be interesting.
And look who is in P2, the Pennsylvania rookie, Stefan Larkamp.
And I just ignored him. I'm sorry, Stephen.
Well, we better give him credit for being in P2 while we can, because De Jong is coming. Another one to watch out for, because the traffic is cleared, is Adam Blocker. He's got around Mahan and Weaver and Dupree. He's now up to 6. So the guys on the front row, and he makes work of another car. Is that somebody getting out of the way? Yeah, that's Pierre Nightingale. He's had issues as well. Boy, talk about lap traffic, Sean, with all the carnage going on, and these kind of guys coming back out racing for points.
Yeah, I expected
everywhere.
I expected to see it quickly. I didn't think that we would see it this quickly, but tell you what, hat off to Justin Weaver right now. He is really, really giving Woody Mahan all he can handle. But Soup, how about these names here in the top 10 right now? You want to talk about fresh blood, new people here in the top 10? Isaiah Dupree, Justin Weaver, Woody Mahan. I mean, Michel De Jong, who's, like I said, not run a full season, I think, with the Lionheart IndyCar Series, but he finds his way back up here on the podium spot. Soup, very interesting race unfolded. Unfortunately, it's come with a lot of carnage for some of the top drivers, and some which have already gotten out of their cars and called it a night.
Riding on board with Woody Mahan, looking back through the rear suspension, being chased by Justin Weaver. Weaver's got a good run as they work their way through the S's. Weaver right up behind him now, about a half car. Now he moves to the outside. They come up to the inner loop. I think that Weaver's going to get this done even before they get there. Sure enough, drop Mahan back to 8th.
And this car gets really, really unstable through that inner loop. If you hit that second curb to the left there just right, it will do all kinds of bad things to the car. They get through, manage that really, really well here, though. Woody giving up that spot, maybe not for long here. We'll see if he can fight back and get back to Weaver. Woody's got to worry a little bit about Isaiah Dupree. He's still right there and still charging.
Get up on the curves, gives the car some shadowy fancies, my dad used to say.
Soup, I keep thinking about all the drivers that are out of this race. One note that we had for this evening was about George Ansaldo. And what an impressive start he had to the season. And then he gets that DNF at Kentucky, goes 13 positions down in the championship, and then tonight, probably looking at another DNF. And just a shame for somebody. Jason Galvin out of this race already. And there's another one of your championship contenders. Just a horrible way to get things started off on the road side of this wonderful season.
Well, we got this cool little feature that we have. We call it our featured driver. Oh, we're going to go to P2 before we go. This is Larkamp. Here comes De Jong. He's about 8 car lengths back as they work through the carousel.
He's hollering.
Now into the chute. Across the section of the track that I like to call the laces, if you really want to stretch the dynamics of the boot into the toe. Now between corners 7 and 8, the sole.
De Jong really seems to have this track figured out, Soup. He is still turning some really, really impressive laps here.
Brutal corner number 9. I think the hardest corner on the track, because if you make a mistake, that wall is right there.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
some of these drivers agree that it might be the worst turn in racing. But hey, why don't we take a look at our feature driver real quick here? Go to
Okay.
Michael Goodman. Throw down some stats about Mike here for you. He has had 29 starts in the Lionheart Indy Series, and Mike started here. His first race was season 4 at Kansas. He's had one pole. The win eludes him right now, Soup, but he's off to a good start this evening. He's had 13 top 5s, 17 top 10s in his 29 races. Soup, definitely a good guy and one to watch out for tonight. The New Yorker has been bad fast since he showed up here, and he finds himself just outside a podium spot right now, and with a chance to certainly win this race.
Definitely wins the award for best New York accent, that's for sure.
Yes.
There's no mistaking where he is from. Racing in 4th, trying to make up some time. Let's talk about the back half of your top 10. James Krahula now is up into 6th. Justin Weaver in 7th. Doesn't look like he's going to go anywhere. Now, how about this driver? Isaiah Dupree having a nice run. Sitting in 8th.
Yeah, we talked about him a little while ago, and it's been a solid run so far for Dupree. He's got a little company chasing him here now, though.
Woody Mahan in 9th, and then Andrew Kinsella trying to make up for that mistake back in 10th. Let's look at 11th. This is a nice battle. This is Joe Branch and Jason Robarge. Haven't heard much from Jason this race, or actually this season, out there in the familiar Rainbow Machine.
Robarge in, Soup. Now, this could be a scheduled stop. The pit window. Max run about 14 laps on this fuel cell that they've got in the car tonight.
Let's bring up our race analysis so we can look at it. There's been so much action we haven't had a top. We're going 37 laps today. Sean just talked about 14 laps for a stint. Of course, there's a familiar incident caps, 12, and you get -3, 17, and you're done. You know, Sean, I wouldn't think the 17 would be an issue, but with all the carnage that have been going, all the bumping and banging, some of these guys got to be careful about that.
Yes, they do, Soup. And here's Robarge making his way off of the pit lane now. There is Brian Beard coming down for his stop. So the window is open, and here they come. And here they go.
One of the drivers making a pit stop was, I believe, Chris Lanini. Let's go to Pierre Nightingale right now as he barrel rolls down, and he almost puts it over the wall. Daigle was having a nice run. He had fallen a lap down, but he was quick. Watch this, the yellow car.
Oh, and he catches that inside curb and tries to correct it. It snaps on him, Soup, and that is, boy, just a horrible incident for him.
Shadowy fancies, buddy, I'm telling you. All right.
And the pits are open, Soup. Pit party. As everybody's coming to the pit, Dave Cordy spun it out of the 90. Cars coming out of the pit lane.
Guerin, Blocker, Goodman, Larkamp, Weaver, Dupree, all in.
Dan
One driver
Guerin is
you
out.
will not hear. Michel De Jong did not come in as he's re-inherited the lead, but he's going to have to give that up pretty soon. What order do they come out in? Guerin, Larkamp, and Blocker.
Yeah, Guerin gets out first, and it was a nice, tidy stop for him. 8.8 in the box. Larkamp, exact same time in the box there, 8.8, Soup. Dan's going to have Bart Workman right up in front of him here early. He's going to have to get around.
So it's going to be really interesting when De Jong makes that pit stop, if he can get in and out ahead of these guys. Of course, Sean, when there's always 2 stops, although the window's not that big, you can kind of cheat a little bit and short fill the first time, maybe pick up a little bit of track position and then take a longer stop the next time.
Yeah, Soup, exactly. And you might see a couple drivers pull that now. Here comes De Jong. He's down the pit lane now.
Honestly, he may need to just think about, how little can I take and finish this race on one more stop? Maybe I can jump some of these guys.
Here comes Guerin. Here comes Guerin now. He got around Workman. Now he's got to get around Vince Blumenthal. He's coming across the start-finish line now. Oh, Guerin going to get his spot back. Go back to the front here. Gotta be careful getting through the 90.
DeJong is rolling.
Oh, we're going to roll right out into traffic here. Here comes Steven Larkamp.
Right in front of Larkamp, but Larkamp has the momentum. Watch him use it. No, not enough track. He had the pace, but nowhere to put that beautiful blue machine, the 062 car. Larkamp not done yet, though. Soup, don't give up on me yet. He's going to be on the outside as they go down to the inner loop. Larkamp thinks better of it. He backs out. That's going to let Dustin Weaver get behind him, but Weaver is not on the same lap. The Candyman involved in that early incident there that we saw where the 3 cars got piled up. So DeJong in second, Larkamp in third.
And do we even need to mention sitting back there just behind them, Dustin Wardlow? And unfortunately, Wardlow finds himself now a lap down because of all that soup. Off on the pit cycle here.
So it's Blocker in fourth. But of course, Wardlow's going to be fast. He's going to be up to pace. No fast repairs here in the Lionheart race. Dupree's had an incident.
Oh, he's had a bad incident, Soup. Oh, no, big trouble for Dupree. That car is crabbing really bad. And
well, you know,
and spins it all by himself. Soup, it was the same thing that happened to Pierre Degley. You're going to see it here. Same spot. Going to catch the inside of the curb, and the car is just going to get wicked on him.
And if we stay on it for just a minute, this is a case of maybe I'm not hurt that much. Let's see what I got. And
I'm not hurt very badly.
No, that's put her hammer to that thing because oh my goodness, that thing is crabbing. There we go.
Wow.
All right, DeJong is here. He comes, Sean. He has the pace. He is running down Garrett.
Yeah, and he had a great pit stop. It was an 8.6 in the box, a 31.4. He was 0.6 of a second better in the pit. And just a little bit faster than Dan right now. And I got to be honest with you, Dan probably starting to feel a little nervous. I honestly thought Dan was just going to run away with this thing. And I don't think it's safe at all. I think he's really got to worry about Michel DeJong here.
All those guys up front had just about the same pit stop times in the box. The guy who was a little faster might have to pay a little bit later. That would be Adam Blocker, who races in fourth. He had an 8.2 compared to Dan Guerin, an 8.7. It could just be the way that the fuel flowed on his lap. We ride on board with the plasma track machine of Dan Guerin, racing in fourth position. The driver he's coming up on, of course, that is not for position. In fact, he gets around Bart Workman. Workman doing so well in the rookie standings. You know, Sean, though, in those rookie standings, the points are harder to get down there. So if you have a good race, you can pick up a lot of points and a lot of positions in that category.
Yeah, Soup, you know what? This is going to be a big week in the points. There's going to be a lot of shifting around after this race. And Soup, I want to tell you about somebody real quick. I want to tell you about Butt Kicker.
Okay.
You know, if you're a sim racer looking to add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism to your sessions, Butt Kicker products are the way to go, buddy. Now, a Butt Kicker move actually mass-producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com, thebuttkicker.com. Use promo code LION20 to get your 20% off on your order.
And there's somebody that's had his butt kicker right there as we're looking at Jason Robarge.
Oh, yeah, Robarge and Brian Beard get into it. And Beard backs it up into the wall.
Beard gets loose first, and Robarge, trying to avoid him, does a good job. Watch, he doesn't hit anything. And if you had a butt kicker, it would do a little rumble in there. Wouldn't have to do that much haptic immersion.
So close for Robarge there. The car spun back across the track right in front of Tyler Graff. Graff actually almost clipped him coming by. You'll see Robarge here. The car spins back up on track. It's Graff that comes by behind him there. That was a close moment for Graff. Graff battling up in 12th right now. And Soup, we've got a battle up here. Speaking of that 12th position, Woody Mahan, Chasen Hacker, Dave Cordy is in that mix. the battle with Hacker and Mayhem, that is for 9th, but they've got some lap traffic in front of them that's definitely factoring into this as they come up the backstretch.
They get around Tony Schowen. Now that's David Cordy up in front. He's at pace. He's running in 26. Hacker back in 9th. That's Ron Hacker. Woody Mahan in 10th. About 2.5 seconds behind these guys, as Mahan has a hard time finding the apex, is Andrew Kinsella trying to run these guys down. Things are settling down a little bit. Let's stay on this for a bit longer here. We're looking at Kinsella. Now, that's not perfect position. Kinsella getting around again. One of those cars that are out there, that's Tony Schowen limping it around. Kinsella in 11th. Let's go back and talk about our hard charger. Last time I looked, he was in 17th spot. Let's go ahead. Where is Chris Lanini? He's up 16th. To 16th now.
Yeah, he is. And Lanini has the luck of the gods with him this evening. He has come a long way through a deep field.
Oh, and it's been... First of all, he was back there. I think it was behind that first lap incident. He managed to get around that. And then all the carnage in front of a great run as he is up. You do the math. 40 from 16, 24. The Global Arithmetic Channel.
In his Value Tech IR18. Tell you what, Vault Tech. I'm sorry, I said Value Tech, didn't I?
Our director telling us it's from the Fallout video game.
I was just totally seeing another word there, Soup.
That's all right. Remember when I thought somebody was working for the beard company and I said bread company? All right, let's check back in on our leader real quick. See what's going on with it. We are watching it. It is there, but nothing happening right now. A second and a half. Dan Guerin qualified 3rd. Our pole sitter, Michel Dijon, behind him. We're hearing that Jason Robart has had some more problems.
More trouble for him in the chute. We've got a lot of trouble there tonight. A lot of cars coming by, too, as he tried to get the car going again.
Got Johnson and Brian Beard, or Bread, depending on how you want to say it. They get around it.
Well, those two are battle of position. Now they come together. Johnson and Beard come together. Oh, no.
Okay. Look up Dive Bomb, and you'll see a picture of Brian Beard. He gets it in hot. Takes it in hotter than a curling iron on Venus, and he just can't get the car wound up. Watch this. He can't hold the inside line.
Well, if I'm Brian Beard, I'm probably making an offer to buy him a beer down at the Poseida Bar and Grill after the race and just make up, you know?
Sean, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Is this the series that has Moby Dickies? Is that the series?
Yes, that's
who is that?
Weaver. That's Justin Weaver.
Let's take it on Justin Weaver. Where is he doing? I love that spot.
I hope he's still on track.
He's in 6th.
Yes, he is.
All right. Is he in the Moby Dickies machine?
Yes, he
is. All right.
And no, seriously, he has had a great evening so far. And finds himself up 8 spots currently.
What a great sponsor to race for. Hey, everybody out there at Moby Dickies. Your driver's doing well. Yeah, up 8 spots, 14th to 6th. Good run from him.
Hey, you know what? You know who we haven't talked about at all tonight? We haven't even said anything about Joe Branch. Joe Branch right now, Sue, he is sitting in 8th spot, up 17 places right now. Woo. Having quite a run here. Branch in that Texaco machine. And he is being chased by Ron Hacker. Hacker also having a good run here tonight.
Uh-oh. Let's go ahead to David Cordy because this is Cordy and Matthew Mercer get involved in this one. Mercer might have got away lucky on that. He might have got away.
No, he didn't, Soup. Unfortunately, Mercer's nose is gone.
Yeah, there it is.
I think Vincent Blumenthal might have picked up damage in that too. Let's look at this replay here.
Mercer already has it off. It's going to happen here in just a second. There's Cordy up ahead. You be the driver, bounces up. Oh, nowhere to go. And it looks okay for a second, and then iRacing is a little slow getting the damage in there.
And Bark Workman was able to get on the binders and avoid that. But Cordy just misses his line there coming up through the S's, and that it went all bad after that.
Well, there's your two drivers. We're mentioning names that are sitting up high on the rookie standings. We're talking about Workman and Cordy. You know, the guy who's really going to jump in the rookie standings to keep this up is Stefan Larkamp. Still holding on to third.
He certainly is.
We got to tell you, blocker's coming. And I expect that boy, I almost called him Dan. I think Adam's going to get there.
Hey, you remember when Michel De Jong was catching Dan?
Dan Garen, yeah.
Yeah, not so much now.
Nope.
Not so much now. And Dan's put a little space in between him now. He's got a spacer in there, and Samuel Ryman. And hey, listen, hats off to Sam. He's not had the best race. He's had a lot of trouble. In fact, he's had 3 pit stops already, Sue. But he finds himself in 19th right now, still just 1 lap off the lead here.
Well, was just on the lead lap until Garen got around him. As now we have, when we do the math, that would be 18 cars, I guess, left on the lead lap. Who's next on the Dan Garen hit list here? Coming up on
Bob Mikas.
Nope, no, I think it's Dylan McKenna in 18th. Bob Mikas is 27th. Mikas,
that's right.
Mikas is, let's go ahead on board with the Vaughn Hansen's meat machine. This meat is a little bit raw here as he's had a rough race.
24 locations, Sue. 24 great opportunities to get you some Vaughn Hansen's meats.
That would come in the fire and ice machine. Oh, it's not the fire and ice anymore.
He's in the Synergy IR18 now, and he's just going to spin it by himself there coming out of the bus stop. Does a great job of getting the car stopped before it backed into the wall. And he has to let, at least, I think, 4 positions by there.
Dylan McKenna actually had a slowdown penalty. He had to take evasive action. McKenna was running in 17th. So we talked about that was not that far away from our leader, Dan Garen. He was right in the mix of that. Garen gets through. And now there's nobody between Garen and Tyler McGrath, racing in 16th position.
Yeah, Limkeman now in that Synergy Motorsports livery this season.
That's right. I mentioned how well Synergy did last race out at Kentucky. I do miss the fire and ice machine, though.
All right, so here we go. Sam Ryman moving over. He lets DeJong get by. He lets Stephen Larkamp get by, Soup up front. Now they've got Dylan McKenna in front of him. But Dan Garen continuing to put space between him. Gets into the backstretch all by himself.
Now, I could check lap times to find out this for sure, but I'm not so sure. It's not Dan Garen picking it up. I think that DeJong is going the wrong direction, and I just simply base that on how close Larkamp has got to him. And look at this, right behind Larkamp. We said he was coming. Here comes Adam Blocker. Boy, he is gobbling him up quick. Closing the gap like David Letterman's dentist. Really coming up behind Larkamp right now. Larkamp has McKenna to worry about. McKenna's gone a lap down. Remember, he was in 16th. McKenna gets out of the way. Larkamp up ahead in the light blue car. Blocker back in the royal blue car behind him. He's got a good run as they head down into the hill. Is Blocker going to force it? Not yet. I think he's going to have to wait back here, maybe take a shot down into the 90. That's corner number 1.
And Soup, I just saw an overtake. Mike Goodman gives up position to Justin Weaver. Weaver gets him back down in the toe, takes him on the outside there. We've got a replay of it, but gets around him in the toe. A bolt.
Yeah, kind of let him by, it looks like.
All right, so maybe it wasn't as impressive as I thought. I oversold it.
A pass is a pass. If you get yourself some Rooster milk, you got to be happy no matter how you get it. Let's go back up to third right now. Got to be impressed with Stefan Larkamp. Sean, we first got to know Stefan when he was racing the Formula Renaults down there in the Apex Online Racing League.
We did, Soup, and fun watching him in that, but I got to tell you, it's been a little bit more fun watching him here in the IndyCar, and he's finally starting to see some results today. And Soup, what we're talking about today, let's talk about another sponsor here real quick. Let's talk about SimPit. Remember, you're watching the SimPit Grand Prix at the Glen. This is the first year that the SimPit has teamed up with the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Sean Cole is the owner and operator of the SimPit, an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of sim racing. Check them out on YouTube and at www.thesimpit.com.
Let's look at Krahula.
Yeah. Boy, we talked about turn 9 being trouble. We've seen as much trouble. We've seen more trouble in the chute tonight. And James had trouble navigating it there. He's going to lose the rear on it. It's going to come around. Fortunately for him, he doesn't slide it into anything. He's just got to get it turned around and going, and there was nobody around him. James gets back and rocking here. He's still in 7th place.
I'm showing Dan Guerin in 3rd. He's coming for his pit stop. Dandy Dan, you scared me there.
Comes in with 13 to go, Soup.
Let's see, does anybody join him? Larkamp comes in as well. Now that could be good news for Blocker. Blocker was probably faster than Larkamp, but Larkamp was doing a good job of holding him back. Guerin is out. He cycles out in 4th position. Larkamp comes out in 5th. And Graf, we're seeing, is in the wall.
Trouble in the bus stop. He had trouble in the bus stop. Misses his line there, and it was a fatal error. I'm afraid he's going to miss it bad, and the car is going to go to the right, and then it's going to kick back to the left, and then he's going to really hit it hard.
Yeah, he was closing really fast on Mercer. I'm not sure if he just didn't bring it in too fast, or maybe Mercer being off pace distracted him. Tyler was having a great run. He was up in 15th, still on the lead lap. Let me collect that. He was in 13th on the lead lap. That's too bad. All right. De Jong is in. Right behind him, Tony Shalom, but that one doesn't matter.
Found Dan Guerin on track. Dan is now coming through turn 9.
Let me correct myself. It is Adam Blocker who did come in behind him. Yeah. De Jong and Blocker. The car in between on pit lane, that is Bluthenthal. He's leaving. De Jong is in. Blocker's right ahead of him. Now, those are your front row. 1, 2, so they get that farthest spot. Where is Guerin? Guerin's going to get
across the line.
All right. De Jong rolls. Blocker rolls. Looking for Larkamp. I don't think Larkamp's going to get there. Larkamp, remember, was ahead of Blocker coming in. Blocker gets him.
Oh, see, De Jong.
Go ahead.
I was going to say he picked up a little bit of time. A full second. He picks up a full second with his pit stop. He's now 2.4.
Well, order has been restored as the top 3 qualifiers now are up front. Guerin, who qualified 3rd, leading the way. De Jong, your pole sitter, in 2nd. And, of course, Blocker, qualified outside of row 1, back in 3rd. Both De Jong and Blocker had big trouble. Guerin has been clean. You almost get the feeling that Guerin... Oh, my goodness! Can we go back and look at Vincent Bluthenthal real quick? Maybe this wasn't as scary as I thought. It happened right there, right in front of De Jong. This is not what we teach you in the Back Marker United.
Yeah. No, that was scary. Vince is moving across the track really slow there. I don't think he knew De Jong was there. Maybe he had lost track of his relative. Vince really, really slow on track, though, right now with the rest of the cars coming around. Now he's picking things back up.
I'll give him credit. He was doing it slowly. He was what we call the Hornish drift, just kind of ease over a little bit at a time. So, but boy, it sure did scare De Jong.
Scared me.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold your line. That's what we preach at the Back Markers United meetings.
Dan Guerin's got command of this thing. When they come back to the start-finish line, they'll have 10 laps to go. Dan working his way through traffic now. That's Scott Johnson letting him by. Brian Beard up in front of him. Johnson and Beard are still challenging each other for that position, Sue.
Yeah, it has been something to watch. They've been going at it for a while.
And you know, the next battle behind them is Chris Lanini and Sam Ryman. Those two continue to fight on. Sam's actually done a really good job to catch up to Lanini here in the past couple laps. They're both on a little bit of a different strategy. Well, I'll tell you what, looking at their strategies right now, Lanini going to be really, really lucky to make it to the end of this thing, Soup. He's not... we said 14 was the max on laps. I heard here in the chat that that was a lie. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I know it's a lie. They always lie to us. You know who doesn't lie to you? You know somebody you can count on? That's the guys at HPP Simulations. You know, HPP is awarding a Formula Racing wheel valued at just under $1,500 to the season champion. The list of features is too long to mention here. To get a complete understanding of how great HPP products are, visit hppsimulations.com to check it out. HPP, designed to go fast, built to last. I'll tell you who's trying to last right now. It's Dan Guerin. He's just got, about 10 more minutes to go and a 1.5 second lead over DeJong.
Yeah, but boy, I like Blocker right now. Really like what Adam Blocker is doing. He's just chipping away at DeJong here. Almost to the point now where I think he's going to start trying to put a little pressure on him here. Maybe he can get Michelle to make another mistake in this race.
Honestly, that's the most exciting battle up there. Those guys are really starting to close in on each other. You want about an interval? How about 22 seconds from Stefan Larkamp back to Justin Weaver? That's the difference between 4th and 5th. Oh, Lanini, Chris Lanini was having such a great race, had another spin right in front of, Dylan McKenna. Boy, he's had a season full of excitement just in this race.
He's living a charmed life. Yet Lanini spins it by himself there, able to get the car turned around.
The nice battle is the one, we'll check in, and we hate to jump you around so much. We're looking at that replay of Lanini. When we come back, we'll check back in on Goodman and Krahula. That's a battle for 6th. Relatively close. I don't have a gut feeling on whether Krahula is...
Oh, Soup Blocker just made a move on DeJong, and DeJong, it was in the carousel. They make contact, and DeJong goes around.
Yeah, this started way back in the inner loop.
Oh, boy.
You can see DeJong has a horrible procedure through the loop.
Oh, boy.
Goodman runs up on him.
We'll look at it from above. Soup, do you see contact there?
I do, but I don't have a problem with this. DeJong is really struggling.
Yeah, Adam had that line on the inside. I mean, he was coming through there, and DeJong started to kind of... I can't call it. I'm not going to, yeah. I'm staying out of that one.
Well, it's you're putting Goodman in a decision there where the guy is clearly off pace. What do I do? Do I check up or do I just, the opening was there? That's a tough one. You kind of have to be careful of your car that's a little off pace that you don't come down on the apex. Well, but not really our job, is it, Sean? We just
it's not. See it. Hey, you know what though? Guess who's on the podium now? Stephen Larkamp is on the podium, Soup. Larkamp is on the podium.
And what did that do to DeJong? He is
DeJong is falling back. He's 13 seconds behind Larkamp now.
That should put him close back there to Weaver. No, he said, that gap, remember, was 22 seconds, so there you have it. Another 9 seconds, Weaver.
DeJong's got heavy wing damage on that IR-18.
We'll see if he can hold on. He has 8 laps to go. Oh my goodness, is he off again? He's
can't steer it.
He's working. Well, he's just going to try to limp it home. There is a big gap. Only 11 cars on the lead lap, so his goal is just to keep it out there. See what points he can score.
All right, Soup, here's the battle we got to watch now. All right, it's for 9th place. Joe Brent still holding off Ron Hecker. But Woody Mahan has caught them. Now it looks like they're all going to be good to the end here. I don't see either one of them are going to have any trouble with making it to the end of this race. These three kind of joined at their hips right now. Almost like a potato sack, a three-man potato sack race here, Soup.
This is a good battle. Well, it was a good battle there as Ron Hacker gets loose. A nice job from Woody Mahan checking up.
No pressure, guys. We're talking about you.
Good news for Joe Branch as he pulls away. So now,
we fight here on the inside.
Hacker misses the spot, and Mahan says, thank you very much. Now that next one, that's Chris Lanini. He's not really in the battle. He's a couple laps down. So Hacker goes back to 11th. Mahan inside the top 10. Joe Branch starting to pull away. Mahan, the last car on the lead lap. How far away is Dan Guerin from getting there? Well, that's a ways away.
You know, Sue, despite leading laps in each race this season, Dan has been caught up in a lot of late race incidents. And,
it's been a horrible season for him.
He's sitting 19th in points right now. And if anybody needed a rebound, what a way to get it started here tonight at Watkins Glen. We know how much work Dan puts into these road courses. Hundreds, maybe thousands of laps he put in here leading up to this one. And you know what? It's going to be kind of nice to see him get the reward here if he can just hang on for about 6.5 more laps here.
Well, we talked about it in the pre-race show in the countdown to green. He was the only driver to best Jake Wright last season. Wright was just dominant on these twisty courses. Guerin was able to get him once. He gets the first road course win in here if he can negotiate the final 6 laps. All right, well, we've been talking about the driver in 4th position. Could he hold on? It's Weaver, and actually he has got around DeJong. DeJong now beginning to fade. What's the gap? It's 11 seconds back to Michael Goodman. Don't be surprised if Goodman be able to get up there and get that spot. Boy, DeJong's car is very unhappy.
It's hurting. It's definitely hurting. He's trying to keep it in here, though, and get a finish out of it.
What an exciting race. So many twists and turns. The drivers who've been clean, Dan Guerin, Stefan Larkamp, they're going to pay off. Blocker had an incident. He was able to make up for it, but he almost got into another one as he got together with DeJong.
Yeah. Yeah, and Blocker obviously got away with the minimal damage in that.
He really did dodge a bullet there. Or Stefan Larkamp be looking at a bridesmaid. Seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah, he just went purple. Wow. That's impressive.
1.1 seconds between Guerin and Blocker.
And that
5 laps to go.
That shatters the original race lap record.
He is coming. Blocker is hustling. It's now down to 0.7 of a second. The blue machine, you wouldn't know it from the color, but it is on fire. Guerin, only 0.8 of a second up.
Yeah, that blue flame, that's the really hot one.
Oh, that's right. I got to do this for Dan Blocker. Dun, 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 bonanza. He's coming. He's charging. He's on his pony. Boy, our demographic, there is nobody alive that knows that reference.
Lauren Green was a great actor, Sam.
There you go.
Soup. Is it gonna be more late race? I'm sitting here watching Dan and Adam, and I'm thinking to myself, is this gonna be more heartbreak for Dan Guerin? I don't know if he can survive another heartbreaker.
Oh, this is rough.
I just don't know if he can, Sue.
I think he probably checked his what they call the F3 box. It tells you the interval there, and I think he's picking it up a bit. Might just be minding the gap, like they say in the London subways.
I don't know about that. And now, Sue, did we ever even talk about the push to passes? You know they've got push to passes. They're sitting on those. I'm wondering if Dan used his up to get there, and Blocker is now starting to find the extra speed, and he's still sitting on a couple. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about the push to passes because we have no clue what's going on. So
we never know when they're activating. Yeah. That's true. We have no way to really tell.
It's well, we can assume that Blocker would have had to use them to make up all the ground from the early times, and Dan Guerin out in front wouldn't be using them. But based on this interval, boy, Blocker is right there. 4 laps to go. Let's go to P7. Oh my, this is Krahula making a look at Kinsella. Now, Kinsella had an incredibly long pit stop. And Kinsella has gone. Now, is he going to come back? He's back. He's back. Boy, he got to at least shake Rod Serling's hand there in the Twilight Zone. But Rod said, you get back there and race. Kinsella in 7th. So here's what Kinsella, the last stop was like 22 seconds. Well, that was his first stop. The last one was legitimate. He had a ton of damage from that early mistake. So we got Krahula trying to run down Kinsella, a couple Ks going at it. And then Guerin and Blocker. We can stay on this one for 7th right now. You know, I lied to you. As much as I like this battle for 7th, we got to go to the lead. Because, gosh darn it, here he comes. Giddy up for Adam Blocker. It's not a matter of time now. It's a matter of car lengths, about 7 or 8. Sean, where's he gets him? If you get him into the inner loop, that seems to be a popular spot as you go up through the S's. Maybe into the heel, maybe into the first corner of the 90. He's got 3 laps to figure it out.
Yeah. Not much time left to figure it out now, but all right. So Sue, as things have changed here in iRacing and the IR18, and you know they put these patches out. Apparently, I missed somewhere that you know on the roll hoop up there where you see the position on the car. Apparently, when they use push to pass, it says PP. I have not noticed that myself personally, but that's what I'm being told. So.
Good. I thought that's. Oh, here comes the move. I thought that PP stood for something else. Here comes Blocker right behind Garrett. That's been a long day for me. I apologize.
Well, it is like that in the real world, and I guess I've never paid close enough attention there either to notice that the PP flashes on that.
But again, we can't really track them, so we don't know how many. But
yeah,
right now, Guerin is right. He is there. 2 laps to go. With apologies to the rest of the field, the 11 cars on the lead lap. We're going to give most of our attention up front now for the remainder of this race as they come up behind Chris Lanini. Chris, a veteran. You want to see how to get out of the way? I can just guarantee you guys at the Back Market United meeting, if you're watching this on replay, watch what Chris Lanini does here. I have such confidence in Chris. Don't let me down. Here comes Guerin and Blocker, boy, right there. Lanini finds a nice inside line, lets him by without a problem. Give him the comfortable chair. And now I think Guerin again saw the pressure coming. He picks it up. We're on the white flag lap. They head up the S's. I don't think Blocker's going to be close enough to force the issue into the inner loop. He's coming. He's 3 car lengths back. He's 2 car lengths back through the carousel. Around and around they go.
Oh, boy.
Who's in front? Well, I know. It's still Dan Guerin. Now into the chute. Oh, he loses it! A mistake from Dandy Dan!
Oh.
And he's having trouble getting it going. We're going to replay that when he gets it rolling. I think he's going to come home in second. Another heartbreak for the number 8 machine of Dan Guerin. Just a few corners to go for Adam Blocker. The heel. The very tricky corner number 9, but he doesn't have to push it because Guerin is way back. Never go away from a Global Sim Racing Channel broadcast when we are covering the Lionheart event. You never know. One more corner for the New Yorker. Give round number 3, season 6 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. The Sim Pit Grand Prix at the Glen goes to Adam Blocker.
And Garen is really hurt here. Larkamp on the way.
Garen might be out of fuel. Larkamp goes by him. Garen is stopped. The good news is the worst he can do is finish 11th. He has towed. Dan Garen cut it too short on the petrol. Larkamp gets the bridesmaid position.
Boy, that's going to give Michael Goodman a P3. Wow. We talked about it all race. It was a strange race, and it was a strange ending.
I think actually Justin Weaver is going to get P3s. We're looking at this battle on screen.
Yeah.
This is the car that is dead. Dijon. Go ahead, Sean, call it.
Okay, well, here they are. Dijon trying to hang on to this thing. Soup? Is he going to get it?
We're looking at it. No, I don't think so. Weaver. Oh, he was the Moby Dick machine.
Yep.
Ran out of fuel. He needed a splash and dash. That's why he's not going to finish third. That's why Goodman is going to get third.
Joe Branch coming across the line empty, out of fuel.
Dijon gets fourth. Kinsella. James Grahula in sixth.
Woody Mahan ran out of fuel too. They were fighting. Ron Hacker, Joe Branch, and Woody Mahan were all fighting. Woody runs out of fuel.
Before we leave, we're going to look at the sadness that is Dandy Dan Garen's. Well, I guess if you're going to run out of fuel, this is really academic. He wasn't going to get there anyway. Although maybe sitting parked like that, who knows how much fuel that used up. Sean, you talked about the heartbreak that is Dan Garen's season. Once again, he finishes the leader of all the cars one lap down.
I can't believe I even contemplated and it came to fruition. I just feel horrible that I even brought it up.
Well, the racing is over here at the Glen, but our broadcast is far from done. What we're going to do right now is take a short break, but don't go far. We will come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers, and then close up shop as we bring you the Plasma Track Victory Lane. Back in a few.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
Welcome back to the Sim Pit Grand Prix at the Glen and the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. Hey, if you're struggling to find something for the person who has everything, do I have the website for you? Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. Words cannot do justice. I would try if I could, but I can't do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one visit and the next thing you know, you'll be trying to convince your spouse why you need a Plasma Track wall art hanging in your home. See it at plasma-tracks.com. And remember, use the promo code LRS2018 to get 25% off your order. If it costs $200, you get it for $150. My gosh, you can't beat that. Now let's go ahead and talk about 100% of the HPP finishing order here for the Sim Pit Grand Prix at the Glen. And it was Adam Blocker who got the win. Stefan Larkamp, we watched him the whole race. He hung around. Both Blocker and Larkamp and Michael Goodman fill up the podium. Michel De Jong limps that car home in third. Andrew Kinsella, boy, he had trouble too. He salvages a good result inside the top 5. Justin Weaver in 6th. James Grahula, Ron Hacker, they go 7th and 8th. Joe Branch in 9th. Rounding out your top 10, it is Woodrow Mayhem.
All right, and Dandy Dan Karen going to wind up with an 11th place finish. Still going to help him in the points, Soup, and what a great race by him there, and that's it. Okay, Scott Johnson, 12th. Sam Ryman going to finish 13th. Great job, Sam. Hats off to you, buddy. Good finish, 13th. Dylan McKenna, 14th. Brian Beard, 15th. Chris Lanini, Soup. He will advance 24 positions in this race and finish 16th. Great run for him. Bart Workman, 17th. Dustin Wardlow. Boy, things just went awry for him, and it never got any better, but he will finish 18th. 19th, going to go to Ken Hacker. Matthew Mercer in 20th, Soup.
Hitting blackjack is Tony Schowen, catching 22, Robert Blue and Vincent Blumenthal behind them. Here's a driver that came to us early before the race, said, I don't think this is going to be my race. Didn't even know he was out there racing. Brian Not Easy being Greenley, he finishes 3 laps down in 24th, but he did manage to stay out of the way. I guess you're going to finish 24th. You don't want to be a cause of any problems. Brandon Limkeman in 25th. Tyler Groff is having a great run. Unfortunately, bad news hit him. He comes home in 26th. Bob Micas behind him. 28th, 29th, and 30th, it is Jason Robarge, David Cordy, the rookie who's doing so well, and another rookie, Isaiah Dupree. Sean, what do you got after that?
I got the rest, Soup, and that will be 31st for Pierre Knight and Degley. It ended in the shoot for him, unfortunately. Ed Tutwiler, 32nd. Brian Yazik, 33rd. Tough day for him. Peter Edwins, 34th. Michael, the Racing Kangaroo Gray, will finish 35th. Chris Stouffer, 36th. Jack Bogan, 37th. Ian Adams, 38th. Joe Cadigan Flanagan, 39th. George Anzaldo, trouble on the start, 40th. 41st, Jason Galvin, also caught up in that. And also caught up in that, Big Joe Hassert. Big Joe Show making his 100th start. It wasn't a long one. 42nd.
Adam Blocker, our race winner. If I've learned anything from watching Galaxy Quest is never give up, never surrender. My gosh, you got it back.
Yeah, finally won one, Soup, finally. Sure didn't make it easy for myself. Had a pretty disappointing qualifying. I was down like 0.2 on what I could have done. And then, I pressured De Jong into a mistake on the first lap and got the lead, but didn't hold it for very long because I spun. And then because it was so early in the race, I couldn't rejoin until I let a lot of people by. So I think I was like 15th after lap 3. And then, I just worked my way through slowly. And then saved fuel in the second stint. And I passed Larkamp on the pit cycle, and then had De Jong and Guerin to go. I knew I was faster than both of them, and I knew Guerin would also have to fuel save. So I caught De Jong, and then, he made a mistake in the bus stop, and I made a move on him, and he closed the door and wrecked himself basically. And then, I tried to close down Guerin as hard as I could. I didn't know if he had enough fuel or not, so I had to assume, I had to go for it. And I never really had a good chance to pass him, but I pressured him into a mistake, and I guess he ran out of fuel anyway. But so definitely, not I would have liked to just have a nice cruise, but definitely very interesting, and definitely very honored to get my first win in this really competitive league. So,
Couple questions. First of all, they pay us to have an opinion here, and I saw that Zhejiang event exactly the same way that you did. That he had an issue, the door was open. I mean, what are you going to do? You either have to go there or lift, and I mean, he was off pace. But let's talk about this. Push to pass is how does that play out in your position?
well, so my plan was always to save him toward the end. So I had like 8 with the last 8 laps. So that's why I was closing on Guerin pretty good and De Jong. But in the first stint, I used first couple laps to kind of pull a gap, but then I spun. I used one on the first lap just because to make the move on De Jong, and then I only used one to pass all those guys because most of the time I could get a good enough run where I could pass them and keep my push to pass. So I was trying to save them. And then the second stint was all about fuel saving because you could only do 12 laps if you didn't do any fuel saving. So I did a little bit of fuel saving to get to 13 laps, and then so I didn't use any push to pass on that stint because that would be more fuel. And then I just saved him at the end because I knew I was going to have a big charge at Dan, and that's a pretty good case to be having huge runs, and he's having to save fuel. Like there's no way. It's a really tough position for him to be in. So that's all I was trying to do: put him under maximum amount of pressure I could.
Unbelievable to have that spin and still not use up your push to pass to get through those guys. You're the kind of guy that still has half of his chocolate Easter bunny in July. Congratulations for being patient. Congratulations on the win.
Yeah, I really didn't. I saw the retro race flashing before my eyes because I spun early in that one, and I was pushing to get through the field, and I spun again, and then I got caught up in someone else's incident. So this race I was like, okay, it's a long race. I was confident in my own pace. I thought I could catch him. I just had to be methodical about it, and I was. And I finally won a race, so that's really good. And our team also had a really good result because Andrew came on P5 and Branch came on P9, and Shawan went up 21 positions from his starting spot. So overall, pretty good day for Adrenaline.
Yeah, Sean and I thought it was a long time coming. Congratulations, everybody. There you have your winner, Adam Blocker. Sean, who you got?
Soup, I got Stephen Larkamp.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah, Stephen, how does it feel? Oh, it is. Unmute your microphone, buddy. There we go. Stephen, how does it feel to be up here on the podium, buddy?
Woo! Did that actually happen? I'm at a loss for words. That was amazing. I mean, a big shame for Dam running out of fuel like 3 corners from the end, but oh my God, this is incredible. What a race.
Are you going to Disney World?
I wish, but but I mean, 3rd race in the series, and this happens. I just can't believe it. I knew I had decent pace tonight. I thought a top 5 would have been fantastic for me, but then this, I'm just at a loss for words.
Well, listen, you've got some experience at this track, and I think it paid off for you a bit here today, buddy. I think a little bit of patience paid off for you too. It was awful tricky out there today, wasn't it?
Oh, definitely, especially on the final stint. I mean, I love Watkins Glen dearly. I mean, being from, in a sense, it's something of a home track for me since I'm from Pennsylvania, especially with regards to road courses. But it's just one of my favorite tracks out there. But that final stint of the race, I was pretty much since that final pit stop because I knew I had to save a bit of fuel in order to make it on 13 laps, and if I didn't, I'd have to take another pit stop, and I didn't want to do that and risk losing that podium position. I was running 3rd at the time, and I was just lifting, coasting, short shifting for all it was worth, and even then I just barely made it. I think I had like 0.3 of a gallon left in the tank. It was that close.
Man, well, as you saw there at the end, it was close for a lot of guys on that final stint with their fuel calculations. And I know this isn't your first win in the Lionheart League. Now you did get a win in the Challenge Series, didn't you?
Yeah, I won the 2.4 hours of Le Mans that they did in the Ferrari 488, and actually I got a nice little plaque for that. Big thanks to the Lionheart guys for that. I mean, already I can say I haven't been in the league too long, but I'm already loving my time here. These guys are amazing people, amazing guys to race with, very competitive league, and I think I'm going to love it for a lot longer.
All right. Well, hey, congratulations again, Steven. We will see you next week, my friend.
Yep, should be another fun one.
All right, folks, that was Steven Larkamp. Now, we're going to catch up with Michael Goodman here. Goodman gets on the podium this season. The man from New York was our featured driver. Mike, you get yourself another top 5, another top 10. You just keep piling on those stats, but the win still eludes you, but you got to be happy about a podium tonight. Mike, can you hear me, buddy? Mike's trying to get his microphone working there. We'll give him just a moment. All right, Mike, I'll tell you what. Can you hear me? All right, I'm going to send you back. I'm going to send you back up. Try and get it working, and then for the moment, we'll bring Michelle DeJong down here to talk with Soup real quick.
Michelle, you're on the pole. Then things went south on you early. We'll go 2 questions. What happened early on there?
Well, I hit a bump in the wrong way, and then I had a slowdown penalty. That was really stupid of me.
Yeah, then you fought your way all the way back. You're making a move. Then a little bit of trouble through the inner loop there, and you got into it with Blocker. What was your take?
Oh, that was quite simply a stupid move by him. There was absolutely no room there, and I mostly blame myself, though. I should have known. I've seen him busy in the practice races and in the practices, and I know that he never gives any room whatsoever, so I probably should have yielded, but there you go.
Yeah, they pay us to have an opinion, and that's the way I saw it too. It looked like Blocker put his nose in there where it didn't belong, but we'll let the race stewards sort that out. Too bad. Congratulations, though. You managed to sort out a 4th position.
Yeah, not too dissatisfied. I don't really like this track all that much, and the team got a really good race out of it. So I'm happy at the end.
There you go. Congratulations. Better luck next time. There you go, Sean. You see how you do that? You get everybody to like you if you commentate that way.
Yeah, so what you did there, Soup. Let's try here real quick and see if we can connect again with Mike Goodman, our 3rd place finisher. Mike, can you hear me now, buddy? And he is struggling with his settings there for his microphone.
You would think with that first name, he'd be able to figure out how mics work.
Good, valid point there, Soup.
Hey, can you hear me now?
There,
Hey, all right, found it. Sorry, I know,
There's-
stupid, but found it. Okay.
That's all right. Hey, Mike, congratulations on a podium finish tonight.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Really a tough race. Got very tight during the race because I was really concerned about fuel and stuff like that. So it seemed like the slower I was going, the more fuel I was burning. But I was, glad to make it through that second stint and, bring it home. So,
Yeah,
I'm definitely happy with that.
it did look like you were a bit off pace there, and I kept looking at your fuel and wondering if those numbers you were just watching. Now, would you consider yourself a little bit heavier on the throttle than some guys?
Yeah, definitely very heavy. A lot of gas and brake at the same time going through a lot of those turns. There were a few turns I would have loved to have been able to, just let off the gas and let the car just flow through the turns. But every time I did that, the rear end wanted to skip around. So I had to play with both pedals and, obviously burn a lot more fuel than I wanted to. But it is what it is. And I'm just glad to get through, obviously get a top 5 finish and 0 incidents. So I'll definitely take that considering how the season's gone so far. It hasn't been very good for me as far as, performance-wise and stuff like that.
Well, it's a nice shot in the arm for you tonight, though, and that's I'm glad to see you have a good run here at what would be considered your home track. I know you're quite a ways from it, probably about a 4.5 hour drive or so.
Yeah, it might even be longer than that, but yeah, I would say that's good enough. It's still a hike.
Well, hey, listen, it's going to be a good shot in the arm in the points. You definitely showed how well you can run these road courses. I'm happy that you got on the podium. We'll catch you next week, my friend.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you, all the work that you guys do, obviously, and appreciate everything that George and the league does. And, keep up the good work, guys. Thank you.
All right, and that is Michael Goodman, our third place finisher tonight. Soup. Wow. This one is definitely one to remember.
It's not done yet because we get the fun part of getting through all the thank yous here. And we want to start by thanking the guys at First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. Sean?
Soup, Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker products add an instant immersion to any game. Unlike a subwoofer that moves air, Butt Kicker produces a move that actually mass producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Soup, we got to work on that. Butt Kicker products add that missing driver to car connection, bringing more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. That's all one word, thebuttkicker.com. When you get there and you buy something, use the promo code LION20. That's Lion, LION 20 to get 20% off your order, Soup.
HPP Simulations. And when it is time to go sim racing, nothing beats the feel of a true hydraulic braking system from HPP Simulations. Designed and manufactured in the USA on state-of-the-art CNC equipment, HPP's hydraulic pedals and their accessories set the standard for simulation racing. For more information, please visit hppsimulations.com.
Now, Soup, to contact any of the sponsors that you see on screen right now, you go to LionheartRacingSeries.com, or I can get you there quicker. Just scroll down here in the details. We've got all the links there for you. We've got the promo codes from all the sponsors. Everything you need to know is right down there. But you can always go to LionheartRacingSeries.com and get that sponsor information there as well.
And the one they wanted me to talk about was Wild Child Designs. You can contact them at 928-380-5131. And you know what? They're really good. They do all the designs here for the Lionheart guys. I used them. I had this three-legged dog that had no sense of smell, and I wanted to sell them, and they made me a design. I took it to the groomer, and they kind of carved the design right into the dog's fur. Sold that dog in less than a day. So if you really want to promote what's going on, check out Wild Child Designs. On screen now are just some of the companies, equipment, and software that made this broadcast possible. The iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC production. Come courtesy of Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns in 2 weeks. No, not 2 weeks, 1 week. May 2nd. I was supposed to fix that. In 1 week, May the 2nd, for round 5 for Pocono Raceway, Soup, the Tricky Triangle. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us, folks. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find those right here on YouTube. Everything we've got coming up is there. You can also go to our glorious website at globalsimracing.com. We've got everything you need to know about us there. You can find us on social media, interact with us, have some fun on Twitter at GSR Channel, and on Facebook, type in Global Sim Racing Channel, all one word. And yes, we're on the gram. We gram GSRC_gram. And while you're here, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe by simply hitting that button on this YouTube channel.
In the words of the late, great Casey Kasem, ponderous, man, ponderous. Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, John Crackers Ambrose, our director, I'm Jet Yaman, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching, if you're still watching. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.